Hey everyone, welcome to the Poplar Report. We got a major update here for you today. We got Trump's secret plan to remove the others from the United States. And we're seeing that the others suddenly disappearing from work sites because of this, something that you haven't heard anywhere else yet. We have a retraction that I need to issue on my previous comments about penicillin. That's an important one if you were listening to some of that with tuberculosis and such. We got London suddenly unable to cough up enough gold. The London bullion market over there, the exchange, is a major player in the markets, and it can't cough up the gold. This is showing that there might be a gold shortage out there. We got potato chips being recalled, a major Lay's potato chip recall. We got more cullings. Yeah, more egg layers have gone missing. And let's talk about a cheap emergency substance you need both at home, at your med kit, as well as for other stuff, and it's cheap. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates that you guys are sending in from all over. If you have something to share with the rest of the watchmen here, make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. That gets it to the right place. First things first, I need to retract what I said 2 days ago about penicillin being used to treat tuberculosis. That's wrong. A bunch of you guys mentioned that. I had to go read a whole bunch of research papers and stuff and make heads and tails of it. But at the end of the day, a cocktail of antibiotics is the treatment that they go to, and none of them are actually related to penicillin. So if you have penicillin allergies, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be a problem. That cocktail does have a common allergic reaction to it, so but it's not directly linked to penicillin. Please don't ever take medical advice from somebody on YouTube, especially an accountant, okay? But maybe you hear something on this channel that gets you to ask a good question of your doctor. That's cool. But please always never take medical advice from me, all right? I try to do my best to make sure I'm giving you accurate information, though. Nearly 400 metric tons of gold have been shipped from London to New York since November. So nothing to see here at all. We're just seeing 400 metric tons of gold just moving from London to New York. And that's not just the only ones that are moving gold out of London as well. Orders for the London exchange are now being placed 4 to 8 weeks out. So if you're like, hey, I have my gold deposited at the London exchange, I'd like to remove my gold. They're like, well, come back in 2 months. No joke. Friends, if it takes somebody 2 months to fill your order, they do not have it on the shelf, or in this case, in the vault. London Bullion Exchange is trying now to borrow gold from the UK central bank. They can't get enough gold, and so they're going over to the central bank and like, you have a bunch of gold, don't you? Can you loan us some so that we can fill these orders? People with money, big players with money, people who have gold bars. These people are no longer considering London safe for their gold. And a bunch of these people are trying to get their gold back into the United States before any potential for tariffs may take place. This is an indicator, a warning of what's going on there globally. There are major things moving behind the scenes. Before we go any further, that's a perfect place for us to mention that this video, as well as our other updates, are sponsored by Genesis Gold Group. And if you have an IRA, 401k, and you want to get you don't want to be risking it all in the stock market casino, and you want to get into something solid, safe, a coin that belongs to you, a series of coins that belong to you, and then when you take distribution years later, or maybe next year or whenever, you actually get your coins. You'll actually get your metal, not dollars or whatever. If you want to protect your investment with bullion, you might want to talk to Jonathan and his team. There'll be a link at the end of the video for you to find out more about that. All right, let's go over to FDA. They have recalled Lay's potato chips in 2 states. Now, this is classified as a Class 1 recall. potentially fatal. So it's a serious one, but we'll share why that's serious. But we're talking about Oregon and Washington State. This is Lay's classic 13-ounce chips. They did test positive for milk, and some people do have serious allergies to milk. So that is being classified as a major recall out there. So if you know anyone who's allergic to milk and they're up that way, make sure that they do know about that Lay's potato chip recall. All right, something that's going to impact everybody in the United States very shortly. Indiana. We warned you about this. We had a watchman that gave us a heads up on that there was going to be a major culling taking place over there in Indiana. Well, yes, there was. And now in the APHIS system, we see the number is at 600,000. Now, there may be subsequent days where we're going to see large numbers posted there too, but this is the second largest egg farm in the United States got hit by bird flu. We may see that number spiral upwards pretty significantly in the coming days, but right now it's at 600,000 egg layers, and in Arizona we have another 300,000 egg layers. So just to basically round that off to a cool million egg layers in the last 2 days. What do you think that's going to do to egg prices? 100 million has caused this problem that we have, what we've had for the last year and a half, and we just have another 5 or 6 million so far this month. Is it going to impact things? Oh, it definitely will. It definitely will. Trump has ordered Keith Kellogg, who is his envoy to the Ukrainian situation, has ordered him to find a peace deal within 100 days. Now, we've also seen over in Ukraine an apparent leak. A Ukrainian news network has coughed up what they claim to be is Trump's peace deal. So we're going to walk you through that real fast, but of course, this has not been verified as of yet. Newsweek has run this as well with their qualifier on there too, that this has not yet been verified that this is indeed the Trump peace plan. The plan is supposedly a ceasefire that will begin on April 20th. Then Ukraine must withdraw its forces from Kursk. Ukraine will demobilize its military and will end its martial law that will trigger elections. Remember, Zelensky has not been elected. He was elected way back when, but his term expired, and they don't have a democratically elected president or government. So Russia is demanding that elections take place and that pro-Russia parties are not blocked from running, or peace parties are not blocked from running. Also, Ukraine will then cede all captured territory, all the territory that Russia has captured. They will cede it to Russia and recognize that it is now Russian territory. Also, they will agree to never joining NATO, but EU membership could be fast-tracked. This is apparently what the peace deal is that's out there. Zelensky has already refuted this or claimed that this is not a peace deal that's being discussed. But let's just say it does sound like something that Russia would at least be potentially open to. And whether Ukraine will be open to it or not is a whole other thing. But I think at the end of the day, all that really matters is, does Russia agree to it? Does the United States agree to it? And does the European Union agree to it? Because if that's true, Ukraine just is going to have to agree to it, because there is no support for Ukraine if if European Union and the United States pull out. This is from New Mextex. This is an important update here. I know someone that works in the home building construction sector. He just lost half of his others on one of his crews in Houston. Another contractor said he may lose 2 guys. And another guy said he's taking himself back across the border tonight in order to protect his paperwork status. I told him I thought they were just going after the criminals first. He said yes, but they're then checking everybody in that person's circle as well. All right, friends, you heard it here first. I haven't heard that anywhere else. I don't have any way of verifying that just now, but apparently that is the understanding, and that's why a lot of others are not showing up at work. They're trying to lay low, disappear, and we're actually starting to hear that there is pressure on them to self-deport, or else they're processing for green cards, citizenship, other things like that. They may feel the pressure to leave the country in order to keep their paperwork moving forward. So this is interesting stuff that I haven't heard from anywhere else. If you can verify any of that, please let me know. Make sure you use the word update in your comment on this video or on any video here. But let me know if you guys are hearing the same kind of thing. And maybe it's just what they're hearing. Rumors don't just go around the internet. Rumors also go around in communities like this as well. And doesn't make it any less real. It may not be true, but the impacts of that rumor can be very big. Continuing along that line, Andrew says, West Tennessee. One popular Mexican restaurant is temporarily closed due to help not showing up to work. Most could not speak English. We'll have to hire new staff before reopening. Sounds like I've been hearing a bunch of reports out there too of other people seeing that others have disappeared wholesale from outside Home Depots to just other places that you'd expect them, and some of the agricultural impacts too. Apparently at farms they're having people flake as well. They're just disappearing. They're trying to hide, or potentially they are even going back across the border. Dana says, my mom gets things from the food bank in Charleston, South Carolina. She was told that they are all closing. Carol says, rice almost wiped out at Indianapolis area in Meyer. Only a few bags left. Also starting to get low on canned vegetables. This is from Lisa. From Fort Smith, Arkansas. Cargill turkey plant in Springdale, Arkansas, announces shutdown. Officials confirmed 1,100 people to lose their jobs. So if they're not going to process turkeys there, are they going to open up a new plant somewhere else? Or are we just having less meat capacity in the United States? Poultry capacity in this case. Mini Homestead Cooking says, here in La Crosse, Wisconsin, my best friend was hospitalized for 5 days. Her husband had to mop, clean toilet, and take trash out as no cleaning person came in the entire stay. The hospital is so low on staff, nurses, and respiratory therapists, etc. as well. We've been kind of coming to you for the last couple of days about how hospitals in the United States are changing, how a lot of experienced professionals have gotten out after the cough. They didn't want to get the pokey. They don't like what the insurance companies are doing to the industry, and they don't like it being considered more of an industry. They want it to be caring for people, and yet that's not what we're seeing. It's become ridiculously expensive for people. Going in for a couple nights and it charging $50,000, $100,000. I'm hearing stories like that, which is just insane. And then you have on the other side of things that they're doing all these cost-cutting measures where they're nickel and diming us on every little service that we get at the hospital, and yet then it costs tens of thousands of dollars to do those things. Which is it? And all we know is that the insurance companies are walking away with hundreds of millions, billions of dollars. The insurance companies are. They're not getting poor from this at all. But we see hospitals closing. We see nurses and doctors who are barely making ends meet. It's getting real out there, friends. And at some point, people are going to turn on those insurance companies. Hopefully RFK will get all over that. Teresa says, update, I have worked in hospital systems for the past 30 years. For the past 10 years, they stopped immunizing on TB. So there is a poke that you can get on TB, and the longer term one is actually a pill. At least that's the way it was 10, 15 years ago when I was going overseas. But they say that I could have taken it anyways because my father contracted TB in the Korean War, and I get reactions to the immunization tests. They have to x-ray my chest because of that. So once you test positive for TB, you can't take the skin test ever again because they just have to do an x-ray of your chest to see if there's active TB in your lungs. That's the only way they can check to see if you have it or not. Cheryl says, market report, local auction prime beef live weight was $2.16 last week per pound. It's now $2.38 per pound. That's 22 cents increase in just a week. If a steer weighs 1,200 pounds, that's $264 more per animal in just 1 week. Beef prices are moving up. That's over a 10%. That's over a 10% increase in just 1 week in beef prices. So imagine whatever your beef prices was last week, and add 10% onto that, and you may be seeing that type of price increase for you. Keb says, this is an interesting one here. Update: you can use HSA to pay for Jace Medical. Also, measles is exploding as well across the United States. So, yeah, I didn't know that. I went and searched for that. But yeah, if you're trying to get Jace case, if you're trying to get antibiotics or prescription medications for emergency, and you're having trouble paying for Jace, if you do have an HSA, you can use that to pay for Jace. So that's good news out there. I'll put that down in the pinned comment down below, the Jace link there. If you have any questions, you can ask them about it, but apparently they do accept HSA cards. Emily says, activated charcoal is sold in tubes. It's used for poison, give to animals that have eaten something that they should not have, but also were animals, and sometimes animals like us and our smaller animals can sometimes eat things that they're not supposed to. Depends on the weight of your dog or other people. Call your vet. Something to keep on hand in case of an emergency. I'm going to post this on the pinned comment down below too, so it's going to be Jace, and then there's also going to be the food grade activated charcoal. Now, activated charcoal is not the same as charcoal. Activated charcoal has another step where they crack and fracture it more, so then it can absorb more stuff. You can use it for water filtration. You can't use it straight for water filtration. You got to do a little bit of a steps there. You have to have some binder in it and everything like that. But if you eat something poisonous, you can take activated charcoal to absorb those poisons from within you. It has other uses, but definitely should be in your med kit because if you can't take somebody to the hospital because things are going sideways in the country, and you still need to treat them for poison, this is something that you can do. Is you can give them activated charcoal. So that, and then there's a whole bunch of other uses for activated charcoal as well. So make sure you have that, but there's a 1 pound bag on that link down there. It's like about $10, just under $10 for a pound of activated charcoal. You can find that elsewhere. You can probably find great deals out there if you look a little harder. All right, friends, thanks so much for joining with us. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold, there's a link right there. And then, of course, Jace down below and activated charcoal. All right, friends, thanks so much for joining us. I will see you guys next time. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.